I've been writing poetry all of my life, and I heard about Furious Flower a couple of years back, had the opportunity to hear Dr. Gabbin, and the 2019 Legacy Seminar was the first chance that I could attend. It was at this conference that I got to learn a whole lot more about Furious Flower and Dr. Gabbin, and that is also where I was introduced to the Wintergreen Women. Shortly thereafter, I can't remember how many months had passed, but I just heard the news that Carmen Gillespie had passed. Even though I didn't know her, it just, I don't know, it just felt like a void.
Carmen was my first graduate student at James Madison University. She was one of the first students in my survey of African American literature that I taught in 1986. I knew even then that she was going to be a brilliant, brilliant scholar. As a graduate student, she did work on Toni Morrison, and I was her thesis director. I just saw in her my legacy.
I started reading her work and listening to her voice. I attended the Wintergreen virtual conference. I walked away from that first Wintergreen meeting wanting to purchase Shaping Memories. But when I opened the book, to my surprise, all of the women who had read at the initial book reading had signed the book. So I was like, wow, this is amazing. I get a nice collectible copy, and it had been signed by like so many people. But I think what really did it for me was when I turned the cover of the book and I saw Dr. Gabbin's note, and it was Carmen's book. I thought about how close she and Dr. Gabbin were. And so I thought, you know, I gotta let her know that I have this book. And my letter sort of became poetic just in me writing it. Dr. Gabbin, I'll probably never call you Joanne and never JV because you're the most varsity of players and MVP in the game of Black poetry. And I mean that. After hearing you and Nikki and Daryl and Val and Trudier and all of you speak on Wintergreen and your accomplishments, I was simply full. You talked about your anthology, Shaping Memories, Reflections of African American Women Writers. I purchased a used copy of the book that was marketed as in good condition. To my surprise, I found that I have purchased a collectible copy. The moment my soul opened up was when I flipped back to the cover page inside the book. There lies God's wonder. There I found the following inscription: to Carmen, you are my legacy. Signed, Joanne V. Gabbin, November 6, 2009. Thank you for taking up the charge, for giving to the world Furious Flower, for continuing the legacy of Black poetry, for looking after a sister and a brother, for ensuring the continuation of African American literature, history, and culture in and out of academia. Here's to shaping all the memories that are on their way, all the great days ahead of us. Ever grateful and with love. It was a tribute letter to Dr. Gabbin, and it was also about Carmen.
Carmen R Gillespie, magnificent scholar, poet, and teacher. I wanted some way to not only memorialize her, but more important, make her a model for students who come after her, who want to study Black literature, Black poetry, and culture. So we organized the Carmen R Gillespie Fellowship.
Although she's not here with us physically, she's still here spiritually. And she reached me even though we had never met, and all because of Furious Flower.